Do you find yourself constantly exhausted, struggling with simple tasks, and noticing unexplained weight gain no matter how much sleep you get or how well you eat? What if I told you that your fatigue and unusual symptoms might be more than just ordinary tiredness and could even be linked to hidden stress and burnout? In this video, you'll discover the 5 main symptoms of adrenal burnout that plague so many ambitious women today. I'll help you identify if this often overlooked condition is what's really been draining your energy and holding you back from being your best self. Make sure to stay with me until the very end, where I'll share the single most effective strategy that my high-achieving clients use to overcome these debilitating symptoms without having to give up their ambitious goals and driven lifestyle. Hi, I'm Lesya Holzapfel, a nutritionist specializing in women's hormones and helping female professionals recover from physical and mental toll of burnout. Over the past decade, I've supported hundreds of women just like you to break free from exhaustion, reclaim their vibrant energy, and achieve the balanced and fulfilling lives that they deserve. Symptom number 1, persistent fatigue despite rest. One of the most telltale signs of adrenal burnout is a deep, unrelenting fatigue that persists no matter how much you sleep. You might find yourself hitting the snooze button multiple times each morning, feeling like you're dragging cement blocks around all day and crashing on the couch as soon as you get home from work. This isn't just regular tiredness that goes away after a good night's rest or a relaxing weekend. It's a bone-deep exhaustion that makes even basic self-care feel like an overwhelming chore. You might wonder how you'll muster the energy to prepare healthy meals, exercise, or spend quality time with loved ones. Sadly, many women come to accept this depleted state as their new normal. But I'm here to tell you that chronic fatigue is not something that you have to resign yourself to. Studies show that adrenal dysfunction, often driven by prolonged stress, is a primary contributor to this unrelenting tiredness. I've seen this time and time again with my high-achieving clients. Brilliant women who feel like mere shadows of their former vibrant selves, struggling to keep up with the relentless pace of their lives. They beat themselves up, wondering what's wrong with them, not realizing their fatigue is a clear signal from their bodies that something is out of balance. The truth is, when you're stuck in the cycle of chronic stress, it's like making constant withdrawals from an already overdrawn energy bank account. Even when you do have the chance to rest, it's never enough to restore your depleted reserves. The impact goes beyond just feeling tired. Chronic stress can lead to hormonal imbalances, dysregulation of your stress response system, elevated cortisol levels, and adrenal fatigue. But here's the good news. By identifying the root causes of your exhaustion, you can start replenishing your energy reserves and building true sustainable vitality. It's not about simply pushing through with willpower. That approach often leads to more severe burnout down the line. Symptom number 2, brain fog and difficulty concentrating. Let me ask you, do you struggle to focus on tasks that used to feel easy? Do you find yourself rereading the same email multiple times because the information just won't stick? Forget important appointments or deadlines? Feel like you're walking around in a haze most days? If so, you're likely dealing with the dreaded brain fog that comes with adrenal burnout. When your body's stress response system is constantly activated, it can lead to hormonal imbalances that directly impact cognitive function. I've worked with countless high-achieving women who feel like their once sharp minds have been replaced by a mental fog that just won't lift. They sit in front of their computer screens, blurring as they struggle to concentrate on even the simplest tasks. Meetings become a haze of voices they can barely process, and important details slip through the cracks. This inability to focus leaves them feeling frustrated, ineffective, and doubting their own capabilities. They worry that colleagues and their employees will notice their diminished performance and question their competence. The constant mental fatigue erodes their confidence and leaves them feeling disconnected from their successful, driven women that they once were. Imagine your brain is like a high-performance car. Just like that vehicle needs the right fuel and regular maintenance to run at its best, your mind requires a delicate balance of hormones and neurotransmitters to stay sharp. When stress throws that balance off kilter, it's like you're trying to drive with a clogged fuel line. Everything feels harder, slower, and less responsive. Studies have shown that chronic stress can actually alter brain structure and function over time, impacting memory, attention, and cognitive flexibility. The constant flood of cortisol and other stress hormones can create a state of mental exhaustion, making it difficult to process information effectively or think creatively. Symptom number 3, mood swings and irritability. Do you find yourself snapping at your partner or kids over minor things? I know I did. Feeling extra weepy or anxious? Swinging from irritable to overwhelmed to disconnected, sometimes all within the same hour? These intense mood fluctuations often go hand in hand with adrenal burnout. See, when your body is under chronic stress, it pumps out cortisol, your flight or fight hormone. At first, this might make you feel wired and on edge, but over time, your adrenal glands can't keep up with the constant demand, leading to cortisol imbalances that manifest as moodiness, anxiety, or feeling emotionally flat. I've seen this pattern time and time again with the high-achieving women that I work with. They come home from a long day at work, already stretched thin, and the slightest trigger, heavy traffic, a sink full of dishes, an innocent question from their partner, sets off a cascade of frustration and anger. They snap at their loved ones, only to be flooded with guilt and regret later, replaying the harsh words and strange interactions. These women confide in me, sharing how their relationships are strained, how they've stopped accepting invitations from friends to avoid burdening them with the negativity. They feel isolated, misunderstood, and disconnected from the vibrant, joyful people that they once were. But here's what I tell them. If your loved ones have expressed concern about your moods, or you barely recognize the woman that you see in the mirror, know that this is not a personal failing. It's a sign that your body needs support to recalibrate after extended stress. Chronic stress doesn't just affect your mind and emotions. It can actually alter your brain chemistry and disrupt the delicate balance of hormones and neurotransmitters that keep your mood stable. Studies have shown that prolonged cortisol elevation could lead to symptoms of anxiety and depression, and can even impact the brain's structure and function over time. Symptom number 4, cravings for salty or sweet foods. Ever found yourself digging into a family-sized bag of chips or lurking in the pantry for something sweet, even when you're not genuinely hungry? Or is that just me? Intense cravings, especially for salty or sugary foods, are another red flag for adrenal fatigue. I've worked with so many women who find themselves in this exact situation. After a long, stressful day at work, they come home exhausted and they head straight for the snack cupboard, seeking solace and salty chips or sugary treats. They eat mindlessly, often standing at the counter or in front of the fridge, barely registering the flavors or textures. It's not about hunger or an enjoyment. It's a desperate attempt to soothe frazzled nerves and boost flagging energy levels. But here's the thing. These cravings aren't just a matter of willpower. When your adrenals are overtaxed, your body may crave salty foods to replenish the sodium and other electrolytes that it quickly burns through in a stressed state. In fact, a study published in the Journal of Endocrinology found that chronic stress can lead to increased salt appetite as the body tries to compensate for stress-induced mineral losses. As for the sweet stuff, your body knows sugar and simple carbs provide a quick hit of energy, something it desperately wants when you're exhausted. Research published in the journal Nutrients revealed that participants who reported higher levels of perceived stress also had significantly higher cravings for sweets. But as you likely know all too well, giving in to those cravings ultimately leaves you feeling worse, guilty, bloated, and even more depleted when the temporary rush wears off. Stress triggers cravings, cravings lead to overindulgence, and overindulgence exacerbates feelings of stress and fatigue. I know how frustrating and demoralizing it can feel to constantly battle cravings, but I want you to know that it's not about a lack of discipline. Your body is sending you a powerful message that it needs support. By addressing the root causes of those cravings, the mineral depletion, the blood sugar imbalances, the adrenal dysfunction, you can break free from their grip and reclaim a healthy, nourishing relationship with food. It's a journey, but with the right roadmap and guidance, you can absolutely get there. Sign number 5, unexplained weight gain. You're eating well, trying to exercise when you can muster the energy, yet the number on the scale keeps creeping up. Or maybe you've noticed that your favorite jeans are getting tighter, especially around the waistline. What gives? These women often feel a deep sense of shame and self-blame, wondering what more they could possibly do. Counting calories, hitting the gym, saying no to dessert, but their efforts aren't reflecting on the scale or in the mirror. They beat themselves up for lacking willpower, convinced that if they just tried harder, they'd finally see results. But here's what I tell them. It's not your fault. When your body is in the grips of chronic stress, the deck is stacked against you, metabolically speaking. See, all that excess cortisol doesn't just affect your moods and energy levels. It also directly impacts your metabolism and fat storage. A study published in the journal Obesity found that chronic stress is associated with higher levels of abdominal fat, particularly in women. Yay for us, right? The researchers believe that this is due to cortisol's ability to increase appetite and promote fat storage. When your body is in chronic stress mode, it holds on to fat, especially visceral fat, around your organs as a protective mechanism. This type of fat is particularly insidious as it secretes inflammatory compounds that further disrupt your hormone balance and set the stage for metabolic issues. In fact, a review published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that high cortisol levels are consistently linked with increased abdominal obesity, insulin resistance, and other markers of metabolic dysfunction. So, if you've been beating yourself up for lacking willpower or feeling like you'll never get back to a body that feels like home, please know it's not your fault. Your weight loss resistance is a physiological response to chronic stress, not a personal failing. The good news is, by addressing the root cause of your adrenal dysfunction, you can rebalance your hormones, rev up your metabolism, and release that stubborn weight. A randomized controlled trial study published in the journal Nutrients found that a comprehensive lifestyle intervention, including diet, exercise, and stress management techniques, significantly reduced both perceived stress and abdominal fat in overweight and obese women. This is the power of a holistic root cause approach. I know how disheartening it can be to feel like your body is working against you, but I promise there is hope. With the right tools and support to rebalance your hormones, you can absolutely release that stubborn weight and rediscover your healthiest, most vibrant self. I want to know, do any of these symptoms that we've covered, the exhaustion, the brain fog, moodiness, cravings, or resistant weight, resonate with your experience? If you've been struggling with one or more of these, type yes in the comments below. You're absolutely not alone, and acknowledging what you're up against is a powerful first step. Now, I want you to imagine for a moment what it would feel like to wake up each morning actually feeling refreshed, to bounce out of bed with the energy and mental clarity to tackle your to-do list and to be fully present for the people that you love. Picture yourself powering through your workday with focus and enthusiasm, free from the brain fog and fatigue that used to weigh you down. Envision coming home with ample reserves to cook a nourishing meal, play with your kids, or dive into that passion project that you've been neglecting. And imagine slipping on your favorite jeans with these, no longer stressing about the number on the scale, because you can see and feel the positive shifts in your body. This is the life that's waiting for you on the other side of burnout. A life where you're not just surviving, but truly thriving in every sense of the word. If you're ready to step into this vision of reclaimed vitality, I'm here to guide you forward. My brand new guide, From Exhausted to Energized, lays out the proven evidence-based care method that I use to help women just like you restore their radiance from the inside out. This isn't another quick fix or generic protocol. It's a personalized roadmap to identify and address the root causes of your burnout to gain a clear picture of your unique hormonal landscape. Click the link in the description to download your copy. I'll see you in the next video.